Good evening and welcome to the Newshour Agenda. Now, there seems to be no end to moral depravity when it comes to Pakistan. First, its diplomats allegedly indulge in highly deplorable behavior, seeking sexual favors in exchange for doing their job of getting a visa, and also the system has now come out looking for ways to deflect the blame. After Times now highlighted testimonies and evidence that clearly point at the complicity of Pakistan officials, their Ministry of Foreign Affairs, instead of showing contrition or initiating action, asserted that there is zero tolerance for misbehavior and a robust mechanism for grievance redressal in place. Expressing surprise instead at the timing and manner in which the issue had been raised, the underlying insinuation being that there was a conspiracy behind the 8-month delay in the issue coming out in the public domain. But each of these claims have now been blown to smithereens. Speaking to Times Now, the victim has said that not once or twice, but 4 times she had flagged her grievance. Within 10 days of the Pakistan High Commission officials sending outrageous messages, the first one being on the very same portal that is now being cited as a robust mechanism in the Pak Embassy. She also wrote to the Pakistan Foreign Minister and Foreign Secretary. For 8 long months, not only was nothing done, she was also allegedly threatened to drop the case.
Sir, I'm very sad to see that statement because I reported this incident in less than 48 hours of it happening. They messaged me on April 20th, 21st and 22nd. The last message was at 11:45 in the night. And April 24th itself, 5 p.m., I uploaded this complaint on their grievance portal of the High Commission itself. Please ask Madam, respectable Madam, to produce the robust system. Either her definition is different or I need to go back to school to understand what a robust system is. There's absolutely no confirmation email that I got after uploading the complaint. There's no number that is generated. There's no way to track the complaint, and I did it at 5 p.m. and on that very day, on April 24th, and this is less than 48 hours. They sat on this complaint for 10 months, and today they're questioning, and she's saying, I'm surprised with the timing. She's not shocked with the revelation, but she's surprised just with the timing. I mean, a person of such high stature at such high offices are giving such kind of statements for the world to see that she's only surprised with the timing. I'm being a little sarcastic, but I'm shocked that she's not shocked with my revelation. And the first person who I told that I'm going to complain is Mr. Tahir Abbas himself. You played that message yesterday. When he read that message, I have a double blue tick on the WhatsApp chat. When he read that message, did he inform his superiors that there's a lady who's messaged me like that and she's going to complain?
And it is perhaps this patronage from the state that has emboldened the accused. Times Now has managed to track down Mir Tahir Abbas, one of the officials put in the dock by the victim. Hear how he hides behind the statement issued by the Pakistan Foreign Affairs Ministry.
Good morning, sir. I'm Priyank Tripathi calling from Times Now TV channel. Hello? So
Yes, please.
So there have been allegations against you that you allegedly molested and demanded sexual favors from one of the Indians. So you must have seen this interview on our channel. So what do you have to say about that, sir?
No, I don't want to comment. I think our official response has been given by the embassy and it will be given by the MOPA.
But sir, you have been put in on the... Sir, this woman has...
You're watching the News Hour at 10. Debate number 1 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
And for more of this, let's go right across to our guest. Joining us with us is Major General G.D. Bakshi, a defense analyst. Also with us is Tariq Fatah, author. Faraz Saeed is a political analyst. Joining us on the broadcast also is Kamar Chima. Faraz Saeed, let me start with you, sir. We've been covering this story for some time now. And, you know, a lot that's happened since the last 24 hours. Not only has there been a statement that has been released by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, where the allegation is that there is a robust system in place to ensure justice delivery. The victim says that she sent an email to the ministry. She filed a complaint on the website. She even on Twitter messaged the minister in concern, Mr. Bilawal Bhutto. But all of these complaints have gone in vain. So what kind of a robust system is this, where 3 complaints are completely ignored, sir?
You see, there's a process. There's a process because again, you also have to, there's a process of diagnosis. Is the complaint legit? And of course, there's going to be an interdepartmental inquiry, which has already begun, by the way. My sources claim that the interdepartmental inquiry is already on the way, and the person accused is being questioned. And of course, there are international laws, there are domestic laws under which this person, if the accusations are right, will be tried and tested, because Pakistan and as human beings, we have zero tolerance to such kind of wild incidents or any kind of things.
But sir, this departmental inquiry is 8 months too late. If there was a robust system, this inquiry should have happened organically 8 months ago. Why does it take media outcry and for people to talk about it for the ministry to react? Do you actually want a formal complaint from the government to actually take up such an issue? Do individuals not have a right to formally complain to governments in Pakistan?
They do. But there are suspicions that the incident, the incident happened a month ago. And the way it is being reported or highlighted...
The incident happened almost a year ago, sir. It happened 10 months ago and it was immediately reported in 48 hours. Please read the complaint letter. It's out there in the public domain.
Yeah. The problem is the way it is being highlighted or the way it is being raised. We have serious doubts. If the Foreign Office has said that there is interdepartmental inquiry, there is an interdepartmental inquiry, and the accused will be brought to justice if there is any truth to these accusations.
Tariq Fatah, let me bring you in over here because, this is a bit confusing. If there is a robust system of justice delivery, where is the justice? If there is an interdepartmental inquiry, it's happening too late. It can't be both ways. The arguments coming in from Pakistan appear to be self-contradictory at this stage.
Well, within Pakistan, this would not be considered much of an issue. To be very honest, we have a track record of Pakistan's leaders having right at the top. I remember General Yahya Khan and his General Rani and entourage of female actresses who would accompany him while the country was approaching the breakup. People shouldn't forget that. The former Prime Minister, Mr. Imran Khan, has had some fascinating audio tapes leaked about his own sexual adventures and how proud he is of what he has done. So this is a natural byproduct of a society where there are two completely different societies that exist. One is the elite Western educated or supposedly Western attitudes of people, and the others are a whole lot of frustrated, sexually deprived men who will prey on any woman they see. Because as you grow up, the first time you ever meet or sit with a female is at the university level. Co-education doesn't exist in much of Pakistan, and young men or a woman or a young woman who's dating someone is impossible for it to happen over there. So
right.
Men think it is their right to
justice in this entire matter. Do women not have equal rights? And Mr. Chima, let me bring you in on this, because here you have a situation where there are WhatsApp conversations, there are audio conversations that have allegedly taken place, there are complaint letters from last year, yet no action taken on ground. And it's very easy to brush this aside, saying that timing is questionable, we doubt why it is coming out now. The point is, it is about a victim. It is about the rights of a person who have been violated. And surely it is not, it cannot be your argument either that even Pakistani women, any part of the world, when they go to apply for a visa, that this kind of behavior happens with them. Or if they apply even in embassies within Pakistan. Surely this is not acceptable, sir.
Well, to be frank enough, what I would suggest to the Indian authorities is looking at the relations between Pakistan and India. I think this should be the Foreign Office, the Ministry of External Affairs. They should come up directly and raise this issue with Pakistan if there is a fact on that. So rather rather going for a media trial, raising a public opinion as if
Mr. Chima, let me make one thing very clear. The government of India hasn't even reacted. The government of India is a completely different story altogether, which I'll be discussing on the show. But my point is, why should a government have to intervene? Why can't the government of Pakistan suo motu take up the case? Because some things are beyond the relations between India and Pakistan. It is about rights of a female which have been completely wronged. Surely this kind of behavior is not acceptable.
The question is that Pakistani High Commission in New Delhi since last 75 years almost. So since then, the people in India who have been going there, they are getting visas, they are getting all the rights. So overnight, when Pakistan-India relations, although they have never been good, so I think you are going for all the media trial of all this story. You don't want a justice for the lady. The lady,
how can you say that, Mr. Chima? Very sorry to hear that from you.
Anti-Pakistan sentiments.
Very sorry to hear that from you. There is misbehavior. There are WhatsApp chats. There are email complaints. And you are saying that this is a media trial without even examining the facts.
What you want is a media trial.
Are you saying the WhatsApp chats are fake?
You want ratings.
Are you saying the lady who was, drummed up the courage after 8 months to speak out in the media is lying?
That's the best thing.
Are you saying the lady is lying?
Obviously, she is lying in my
understanding. How do you say she is lying? Prove that she is lying.
I think at the end, who is to establish the
Prove that she is lying, sir. Do you have anything to prove conclusively that she is lying?
I am not.
Not even the ministry, nor the individual. Even the accused is refusing to speak on camera. If this was fake, Mr. Chima, even Mr. Tahir, who we spoke to this morning over the phone, would at least come out and say that is fake. Even the cat has his tongue. He doesn't want to comment on this, which shows the level of cover-up happening. The scale of cover-up happening is mind-boggling, and it is shocking that you are victim-shaming here on national television today. I bow my head in shame, because this is certainly something that I don't expect from an educated individual. So let me take this across to Major General G.D. Bakshi, because Major General G.D. Bakshi, this is just mind-boggling. The amount of information that is in the public domain. We have spoken to the victim, who has drummed up the courage to speak out once yesterday. She has come out and completely rubbished and ridiculed the claims of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs that there's a robust system to deal with this, or a robust grievance mechanism. She says there's none. I've complained 3 times on 3 fora. Nothing happened. Zero. Zilch. Nada. And here you have a panelist who's out victim shaming. It doesn't get more bizarre than this, General G.D. Bakshi.
Because I know you are using that so-called...
Mr. Chima, please have some sense when you talk.
Tariq, Chima. All right. Now can I have my 2 pennies worth? Look, as I said yesterday, the Pakistan embassy in New Delhi is not an embassy. It is a bridgehead for the export, the spread of terror, for facilitating terror operations in India. It acts as a bridgehead, and the simple fact is it is full of spooks. There are hardly any, career credentialed diplomats there. It is full of the ISI and every known Pakistani agencies out to recruit terrorists, out to recruit informants, and all sorts of trying to supply weapons, trying to find who can act as a route for Hawala. I mean, this is the limit. Generally, embassies are here to project a good image of their home country. You call this projection of a good image? This was a very sloppy, extremely sloppy honey trap attempt, or what the Pakistani sleuths involved thought was a honey trap, a license for them to do smart talk or whatever, and foist themselves on most unwilling ladies who are just not into their league. People are decent here. She had applied for a visa. You take advantage of that to try and, make all sorts of obscene proposals and this and that. The intention was quite simple. They thought that they are a bit of very handsome men out to recruit Indian women, honey trap Indian women, and seeing her, religious thing, they thought she's from a minority community and therefore she can be turned around and she can be, her emotions can be played and she can be made to act against the interests of her own country. Bullshit. Bullshit. Look at the way I'm so happy to see the way that lady reacted with guts. You know, otherwise people, women get worried if they are cornered like this. I mean, they just want to avoid undue publicity. So,
you know, and it's the worst kind of victim shaming that's happening without any kind of proof, General G.D. Bakshi. That's what makes it so much more shocking. And in fact, we have a hand going up, in fact, on the panel.
We need to pack off more than half the Pakistani staff.
Right.
And these two must be sent packing back to Pakistan.
And that brings me to the government of India. General G.D. Bakshi, that brings me to the government of India. It is an amazing silence for the past 36 hours since the story first broke out, with the government of India, the Ministry of External Affairs, not even commenting on it. What explains this stoic silence?
No, the stoic silence is that they have sanctioned all this. They want to use their embassy, as I said, to recruit terror sympathizers to...
No, sir, I'm talking about our own ministry, our own Ministry of External Affairs. Shouldn't the government of India be reacting in a stronger way? As you rightly have said, perhaps these diplomats should be expelled, their credentials should be revoked. Why is that not happening on ground?
I mean, that, I think, question is better addressed to the Ministry of External Affairs. But because I thought the least we can do is send them packing. If they are trying to do honey traps in our country, well, that's they can't do it under diplomatic cover.
Absolutely. And in fact, Faraz, let me come to that. You know, one of the previous panelists says this woman is lying, that it's all wrong. You know, if that is indeed the case, was there any kind of inquiry to establish that she was wrong? Is it a conclusion that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has gone through after a process of inquiry, after speaking to the victim, after examining the facts at hand? Because no inquiry has actually happened on ground for us.
You're actually right. To begin with, I never condone victim blaming. In any such incidences, General Bakshi, if I may, in most of these incidences, victim blaming is the first justification for it, and I never agree to that. Second, the government of India should have reacted very strongly. I would want to put up some legal facts to it. Government of India, if the diplomat is at senior level, should have declared him persona non grata, sent him back to Pakistan. It would have been highlighted internationally. A very good legal remedy that the government of India is not using. Second, if the diplomat fails to enjoy such diplomatic immunity, then a local case should have been registered against this said diplomat of Pakistan embassy, and it should be tried in the local courts.
Absolutely.
The problem is, why isn't this happening within the local domain? Why isn't the government of India raising this?
Sir, because when it comes to diplomats, as you yourself have mentioned, there is an issue of diplomatic immunity, and the first person who has to take action is the government of Pakistan. I think the moral responsibility of a Pakistan embassy is on the government of Pakistan and its Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which is why the Ministry of Foreign Affairs was forced, with Times Now's relentless coverage yesterday, to come out and respond on a story which was buried for 8 long months. But let me come to Tariq Fatah.
My question is, why isn't government of
All right,
India
we are questioning. Yes, there is no doubt. Perhaps the government of India should also react. But the primary responsibility, remember that this is a staffer of the Pakistan government. This is not a staffer of India. So it is a primary responsibility of the government of Pakistan to act on this. Tariq Fatah, can Pakistan government just wash its hands off? Say that we have an inquiry happening, we have a robust system, and we will find out, we'll get to the truth of the matter, while ultimately brushing the entire matter under the carpet. Even the person who's the accused today is afraid to come out. If it was a fake case, he would have clearly come out to say, hey, I'm innocent, I've done nothing wrong. But he says the ministry has spoken, that's all.
But on WhatsApp, you can't engineer messages. It has to be a two-way traffic of conversation. You simply can't brush aside what appears on WhatsApp. Your earlier question was, how would Pakistan manage something like this? This is non-news for Pakistanis. You remember our head of government and head of state once said that these women cry rape because they have to seek, they try to get American citizenship. Mukhtar Mai case, both the army chief and the political, they always blame the women.
Come on, Tariq. That's absolutely shameful. It's absolutely shameful to accuse Pakistan as a country on these cases. I can bring up thousands of cases against the Indian government and against the Indian.
No, you can.
Your current.
I'm answering the call. I'm not involved with the conversation with you.
Cases of rape.
No, the point is not that. The larger point he's making is trying to victim shame over here, sir. And this culture of victim shaming at least does not happen. And if it does happen, it's immediately called out. Unfortunately, that does not seem to be the case in this case, where the very basic sympathy that one would expect to a victim of this kind of harassment is not happening or is not being generated on ground. We certainly hope that authorities on all sides wake up and ensure justice for this woman who's been fighting a lone battle, and Times Now will continue to support her in this battle. And as, of course, newer and newer facts come out, the role of Pakistan and the role of this person in the Pakistan embassy and an officer of the Pakistan embassy here in the national capital certainly comes under question. All eyes on what action is taken on this individual. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us once again. Tariq Fatah, Faraz Saeed, Kamar Chima and General G.D. Bakshi.